Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, and I am hanging out with some of my favorite nerds today. We're running a little behind, but we are here. So coming off of my con crash of Origins, I'm still recovering. Apparently, getting up at 8, 9 in the morning and going to bed at 3, 4 in the morning is not good for me anymore. I'm an old man now. So we skipped last week, and we are getting back to it this week. If you guys just want to go in real quick, introduce yourselves, and then we're going to hit up Dr. Lucy for a recap.
All right, I'm Staff Raider Doug, and I'm playing Raz Raketa, who is a dwarven former military officer and now Ethernati member with this crew.
Whatever. Professor Bill playing Krizix, super psychic kobold gimp. Next.
I am Nerdarchy site editor Ty Johnston. I am playing Israel Amadeus, the only human in our crew, and proud of it. He's technically still an officer in the Theophilus city of Theophilus military, but he's now serving as commander for this Ethernati away team.
Hey everybody, I'm Nerdarchy Ted. I will be playing Bunny, the kobold Etherficer, who is currently in process of trying to put together his construct companion Mutt back together after it was torn apart last session.
I'm Steph Ritter Megan, and I'll be playing Dr. Lucilia Heliotrope.
Awesome. So with that, let's go right into the recap, and then we'll kick things off.
All right. Last time on Aether Skies, our intrepid heroes found themselves fighting for their lives against some raptor-esque psionic creatures that were definitely not Krizik's cousins, but definitely sounded like it from the way they kept shouting Krizak. With some fancy barrier work, courtesy of Roz, and a few shots at the beasties, we managed to make our way into the tree line, and they didn't follow us past that point. Then we argued about whether or not to go back to the airship. Our decision was as follows. Camp for the night, because we were totally not going to be able to get back through the field of Krizak without rest first, and then make a decision in the morning. Also, because we are a bunch of filthy procrastinators. And Roz and Israel were being ridiculous and trying to stay up all night like a couple of nerds. And then the halflings struck, by which I mean we woke up in their tree walk village with them arguing about whether or not they wanted to eat us in a very old form of Elven that between Dr. Lucy and Krizik we were able to decipher. Krizik was then cool enough to extend that translation to the rest of the party. Also, Israel speaks Elven. What's up with that? Then we proceeded to have dinner with the halflings, who insisted that we go to the smoke hut with them before we left. Oh, and the halflings are cannibals, by the way, so dinner kind of awkward. And oh my god, they killed Mutt, those bastards. But it's okay, he's a robot and Bunny is a genius, so he'll probably be alright.
Thank you, Megan. Great recap. And for those of you who are just tuning in, maybe you haven't caught any of our previous episodes. So these guys are an Ethernati crew for the ship of the Morning Hawk?
Hawk.
Okay. I made up that name. Maybe I should remember it. For the Morning Hawk. And oddly enough, gnomes spell morning the same way, whether you're talking about the dawn or getting over someone or something. They worked for Ethernati. They were put together to basically combat this super strange, eerie phenomenon that has occurred. Basically, 50 years ago, there was a war and one of the cities crashed to the ground. A decade ago, it reappeared, surrounded by this veil of gloom that extends for miles. So the Ethernati, who usually never get along from the various cities, they almost have sect-like or cell-like sects in each city that usually do not get along and work together very well. They can never agree on anything, but they did agree on this one thing, that this new threat is something they all have to deal with. So the crew has been working on various solutions, and one of the things they came up with was to try and, bless you, was to try and enter the gloom from the surface and see what's going on down there. They started off their very first mission in the gloom at the city. It went terribly bad. Horrible things happened. Lives were lost, and some people lost even more than that. So as Dr. Lucy just pointed out to us, we were hanging out in the Treewalk Village in the smoke hut. They had just, shared jungle juice and a meal with the halflings, and they're not truly cannibals because they do not eat each other, and but they decided it'd be better not to eat you guys, and you guys have been making nice and becoming friendly with the natives. And it wasn't until today that I realized I just basically ripped off Dark Sun with cannibal halflings. But, so with that, we are in the smoke hut. You guys had just been instructed to basically take these logs, which had these strange like veins running through them of like this electric blue, almost crystalline substance, and plop them on the fire. I believe that is where we left off. So what are you guys doing?
Taking notes.
I have to say, Raz is totally into this, so I would, do as they ask. I'll take a log, throw it on the fire.
This is a fascinating practice. This is an excellent opportunity to collect data.
So it's very hot and humid in this hut that lies at the center of the village. As you plop on the logs, they begin to burn and exude a smoke into the air, which you guys are now kind of breathing in. It's not too heavy. It's not choking, and it isn't bothering your lungs too much, but you're beginning to feel lightheaded.
Israel will step outside.
Raz is totally loving it. I imagine she would probably just strip down to her civvies and this is relaxing. It's hot, it's steamy. I love it.
Man, I really want to experience whatever's going on in this room, but I also don't trust you enough to leave you alone outside.
Israel is just standing there with his arms crossed.
Can we see you through the doorway? Is that a thing?
He's standing not far from the doorway, so I guess.
I'm going to angle myself so that I can keep an eye on you.
Commander, there is more to life than discipline.
Plus, Krizik's not going to stay inside anyways. Has to keep his mind clear at all times. Otherwise,
exactly.
He starts crawling.
Okay, Krizik's got this.
Okay, so the three of you are in the hut, kind of chilling. Some of the halflings look at Roz approvingly as she begins stripping off.
I'm not ashamed.
And so each of you can each take a turn. So as the fumes, the aroma kind of pervades your being, you can feel yourself relaxing. You feel all your muscles relaxing, all the tension leaving your body, and your mind begins to drift. And as it does, you actually feel like you're on another ship, kind of like sailing through the air, but with minus the ship. It's nice. It's almost just like your consciousness is drifting along.
This is very relaxing for Raz.
So,
Bunny being very cerebral, he's kind of weirded out by it.
You all have this panoramic view where you're seeing a bunch of things all at once. But somehow you're able to track each individual thing as if it's the only thing. You don't know how you're able to do it. It doesn't actually seem like it should be possible. Maybe someone with Krizik's psychic ability would be able to do that, but beyond that is kind of beyond your ken. So starting with whoever wants to go first can, but you can describe your first experience with joining the Nerdarchy, because this is a scene that is actually unfolding in front of all of you. The three of you, I should say.
Oh, like they're all aware of like a shared kind of vision thing?
It's almost as if you're watching a bunch of TV screens at the same time. Okay.
Well, I imagine Raz would her mind would drift back to her time on the surface with the Dwarven military. And just how, at the time, it was like that was her duty, and she just followed orders. And she didn't really question why they were there. But, as the missions continued and they became more dangerous and she started to lose friends and comrades and just wondering why they were even doing this, because they didn't know, they were just following orders and things, but they just kept going down on these missions and losing more people. And you know, in the last mission she went on was pretty disastrous, where she lost like her arm and a lot of chunks of her torso. And you know, after that she got honorably discharged from the military, just because she became like too questioning and things, and fell into kind of like a drunken mess sort of person for a long time. And then she had fallen in with a small group of Dwarven resistance people who just questioned the Dwarven military, and you know, there were all these secrets they were keeping about going to the surface. And then she was recruited by the Aether Skies, and for a long time she wondered, like, why did they pick me? I don't have magic. I'm not psychic. You know, I'm not even that like a decorated soldier or anything. But you know, she went along, and it was something to focus her mind on. And since getting involved with this crew, and especially since coming to the surface now, she feels like that's why they picked me, because I've been here, and she will just never leave anybody behind again. That, you know, whether they're bristly with her like Commander, or you know, she's not close. This is her unit, and she'll be damned if she's gonna leave anybody behind again.
So, you know, as you're experiencing this vision, you're actually kind of reliving that whole, all those experiences are coming flooding through you, and also Dr. Lucy and Bunny as well. You're kind of being flooded with these feelings and emotions of things that never happened to you. Also, the three of you are aware of Krizix and Izzy. They're with you guys in this vision. And you also see what's going on with them and how they got it. Guys, you are not actually in here. And you are not experiencing what they are. But I am going to call on Izzy and Krizix to kind of to play the parts of your spirit selves.
More than happy to. The other thing is, couldn't I know what's going on anyway? Because
if you chose to, yes.
Oh, yeah.
You're definitely going to get a psychic contact high that way, though.
Well, you know, I get the joint without the PHC or whatever that stuff is called.
THC.
Whatever that stuff is called.
Listen, I'm kind of a drug nerd, okay? I don't know any of that stuff.
Wouldn't it be the opposite, though? If you were a drug nerd, wouldn't that mean, mean you know a lot about... Never mind. Dr. Lucy.
Right along. Okay. So, you know, she has always been pretty fascinated with the concept of old world magic. Before it started driving people crazy, before it was like mercury poisoning, right? And there were a lot of people around her that didn't even think that that existed, but it was kind of like being in a modern college and being obsessed with the Arthurian legends or something and trying to find the Holy Grail. And nobody took it seriously, but it's just this thing, and it's always been like right there. And this is a means to finding out what that was about, maybe healing it, because there's something really wrong. I mean, there's obviously something really wrong, because this is hurting people, but it's the best they can do right now. But real magic, like, she wants it real bad.
Nice. Dr. Lucy is kind of needs a fix. All right, Bunny.
All right, so I'm going to have to take some liberties here. I know in our Origins discussions, it was Krizix who actually rescued me from my slavery, indentured servitude, whatever you want to call it. So you actually get to see the bit of Bunny's past as you kind of go through this like montage of repeated abuse and mistreatment by by some man whose face in his visions is blurred, almost as if it's trying to forget, and it's just constant bombardment, never any sign of praise or affection. Anything short of perfection is met with aggression, until Krizix kind of appears, and again you get a fast forward. We don't know whether Krizix attacked the person, whether it was just a mental, you forget what happened with Bunny, but you see Bunny being pulled away from the scene and introduced to to the group that is the Ethernati, and the well of emotions that kind of floods through the group. It's a sensation of like confusion and belonging at the same time, because Bunny doesn't really know anything else, so he's kind of latched onto these people just because they're not giving him any of that aggression that was met before. And then, fast forward a little bit to just the slightest bit of good for the Ethernati is being met with praise, and Bunny is just dumbfounded by that.
So with that, Krizix, you want to fill in some of the blanks there?
Sure. About Krizik's past also, or just the thing
whichever you want, but they're going to kind of get glimpses into. And here's the thing, this could actually be their perception, so this could be true or not true in your case.
Cool. You'll just mostly see signs of war. Krizik is only 24 years old, but Krizik is probably more like 18 years old, but he was recruited into the military when he was 11. So just besides the constant mistreatment and the torture, sometimes mental, emotional, and of course the physical, when he was eventually drafted into the military, you get to see all the conditions that a kobold actually goes through in the military, which is, dare I say it, far worse than your average military recruit. What do you call it? You see eventually he all the pain and the torment actually unlocks something inside of his brain. He winds up eventually, the first thing he starts doing is hearing voices, and words are lies. Like, words are just things that people say, but thoughts, those are the really dangerous, stinging, biting, like stinging nettles. You know what I'm saying? So whatever people say as far as racism towards kobolds, they think 1,000 times worse. And he actually gets to experience all of that. And you eventually get to see when he gets shot, the bullet seems to come out of nowhere. It's not quite sure where the bullet came from, but it does lodge into his lower spine, and it does paralyze him from the waist down. Lots of cobalt tears, which are, sad and freaky to look at the same time. And eventually he does learn how to reach out and will himself to walk again through his psychic abilities. As far as catching up eventually to what you call it? He was supposed to be trained to be some kind of a psychic warrior and some new thing, but they're not sure exactly what Krizik is, what he's capable of. Plus, he's got a lot of remorse, a lot of regret for the things that he did, realizing that you can only force somebody to do but so much. So he takes personal responsibility for all those things, and he's vowed to never kill for an elf or a human again. And he eventually he's put on this mission because they want to see him. They know that Israel is who he is. They thought that Dr. Lucy was worse than she is, and the idea of putting him with people who are very different from him on top of someone who he's actually saved by simply using a form of psychic invisibility and making the other person not see Bunny anymore. He wants this to be like they want this to be the worst experience that he could possibly go through, so it would cause some kind of an explosion. They don't know if he's going to wind up killing everybody or caving in on himself, but they want him to reach his full potential or just disappear. And that's Krizik.
Excellent. So you guys all, kind of experience that, get a mental tour through Krizik, but not Israel. So Israel, now it's your turn.
Okay. This depends on what he gives out about himself. Kind of depends on whether he has any control over it, or if these are things the party sees beyond. Okay,
so right now you are spirit Israel that is with them, not real Israel.
Okay.
So you're not connected to them the way they're connected to each other through their being in the smoke hut.
Well, let me just say this. Israel, and maybe Spirit Israel, would not divulge anything about his personal life. So whether that's a choice or not depends on what you say.
Okay, so you could kind of like you can do it however you want. But so right now they're kind of getting, they see Israel kind of
Yes.
in a black space around him, and it's kind of fuzzy, like right around the edges where there's just barely some light.
Okay. They will get the impression that there is a tragedy and some sadness in his past, but other than that, he prefers not to even think about it, let alone speak about it. As far as him being in the Aether, whatever our ancestors' reasons were for leaving the surface world, it is ours by birthright. We should take it back. This is where we, not just humans, but everyone properly belongs, not on these magic floating cities up in the sky. And that is part of why Israel is here, to kind of experience the surface world, to test the things. And so far, while, in his opinion, while the surface world is definitely a dangerous place, from what he has seen so far in his limited experience, it's only dangerous to a small party such as ourselves. A group of troops, heavily armed troops, could come down here and at least get a foothold in, and should be relatively safe. But then again, he's willing to admit he's not seen that much of this world yet.
Okay, so you guys kind of get all of that, and then like kind of like around and behind Israel, mobs start to form, just crowds of people, and they're all different people. They're elves, they're gnomes, they're kobolds, they're dwarves, even a few with the mixed features of elf and human, clearly not being either. Also, you think you see a couple halflings darting around, but they appear kind of around, but beneath where Israel is standing, as if he's like set above them somehow. And they're just kind of like this amorphous kind of mass of people talking and chattering, and you can see a disinterested look on Israel's face as he's trying to kind of like avoid them and ignore them. And with that, like that, the last of those scenes kind of fades away to where you guys all find yourself on a plane, like the one you came through when you encountered the Krizaks, and before getting to the forest. The sun is shining, the grass is just swaying gently. All five of you there are there walking. It really reminds you of the landing, except for there is no fire yet. There is no Krizaks. You crest the hill. As you get to the top of the hill, from it looking down, you can see a road where you have not seen any roads before, and it is paved with very basic flagstones, unornamented, undecorated, very plain, and it is basically the only thing you see. Everything else seems kind of featureless.
Now,
This is still in our vision.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, as far as you know, this is what
Yeah,
you're
right.
experiencing.
Okay. What were you saying, Ted? Sorry.
I was going to ask the same question. Like, do we feel this is still part of our vision of being in the thing, or do we feel like we've been moved?
Well, that is kind of for you to decide. But Israel and Chris, for all intents and purposes, you guys are there. So,
Well, I guess I would connect with all of them through that, and even the commander, touched on, this. I would probably turn to him and say, like, I understand where you're coming from, Commander. This world is for all of us, and I think our purpose here is to move forward and do what we can to make that happen for not just humans, but all of us. This is where we belong on the ground, and our path leads forward towards that.
Is this
And
maybe
then-
a vision of the past? Like, was there a road here once before? While there isn't now, it's overgrown and covered?
are you asking that, or is Krizik's asking?
Spirit Krizik.
I think there's only one way to find out, friend. And I'll put out my hand for them to and start walking down the road.
And I'll grab it, and I'll also have a little basket with a Toto version of Bunny inside of it.
And we'll play Kumbaya.
Yep.
But no, I think it's a feel-good moment.
So I
I'll
get to be a
relax and
scarecrow.
Oh my god. Yeah, Roz is looking for an arm, and Krizik is looking for a pair of legs, and I'm looking for actual magic, and Bunny is looking for some self-respect.
And Israel's looking for his humanity.
All right.
Is he's
He has
looking
no
for
heart.
our humanity. He wants us to be human.
That's true. So up ahead, you see something moving towards you rapidly. And as it gets closer and comes into sight in plain view, it's clearly mud.
I dropped the basket. We don't need this Toto anymore.
But yeah, if we're all moving forward, except for the commander, I would probably stop and turn back and say, like, I'm not going to go forward without you.
Roz has a point. Come on.
Israel's walking forward.
Oh, okay. Then let's travel down this
I
road.
will go. As soon as I notice that it's mud, I will immediately be heading towards him.
So you guys move forward, and it almost happens like in a dream type way, where all of a sudden everything is just kind of like shooting by you, racing by you in like streaks of color and light. You're walking normally, but it just seems like for every step you take, it's like you've gone 1,000.
Like an airport walkway?
Yeah, kind of like that.
When you're walking on the moving thing?
It's odd and weird, but it feels normal at the same time. And also, the three of you also feel really good. Anyway.
Yeah, we ate those baboon brains, too. They make you feel good.
Oh, no.
I did not think you guys actually had any baboon brains.
Yeah.
I think you guys only talked about them.
Oh, really? I thought they made us feel good. It's just one of those weird
That
campaigns.
was the jungle juice.
No. They
Tree juice.
described them to you.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, I wrote down baboon brains make you feel good. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I wrote down tree juice.
Yeah, pulpy, thick, and then give you a burning sensation. In your throat, not down there.
Yeah, you guys
no.
were discussing cuisine with the halflings, and
That's right.
baboon brains came up.
Yeah, right.
So with that, all of a sudden you guys find yourself at the foot of a mountain. You don't know how you got there. It kind of appears in front of you. There's a cave entrance. And in that cave entrance, you see glowing green orbs of light. They probably would be maybe a head or two taller than Israel, where they're kind of positioned. And the cave entrance itself is kind of enormous. When a huge figure steps out of it, it seems to be a man with the head of a bull, but his whole body seems to be cast of some kind of bronze.
Uh-oh.
And with that, it kind of snorts, and green steam shoots from the nostrils of this creature.
Well, I'd probably
I feel like I
interpose
might be
myself.
astral projecting. Yeah, I feel like I might be astral projecting, so I'm not as afraid of this as I would be if I were sure I were in my own body.
So
I'm
basically,
gonna call out to Israel really loud, but I'm gonna use the name Theseus and see what happens.
He just kind of glares at you. So far, he's keeping quiet.
Raz
So
would probably
what is the
interpose
creature,
herself between the thing and the group.
Besides snorting, what is the creature doing?
it is pawing the ground and shaking its head back and forth. Then it kind of like locks eyes with Israel, and you can just see the aggression coming off the creature. Clearly, it does appear to be hostile as it begins bearing down on the group.
Detect
Israel,
thorns. Sorry, go on. That was a joke.
Israel will put his hand on his sword and say, "Step aside or die."
So the creature just kind of like lets out a bellow and lowers its head as it begins to charge. So you guys can drop initiative.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna use my easy roller dice. Wink.
I have a 19.
16.
16 also.
22.
16, 22, 17. 22 is going to go first.
I am going to wind up Raz's piston-powered punch as it's charging at me, and just boom right between his horns, or try
Okay,
to anyway. And that's
right,
a might versus guard, right?
Yes.
Come on, exploding dice. Yeah. Okay. 30.
A 30? Oh, that will absolutely hit, and you can invoke a Bane.
Well, it has a special knockdown ability because it's a punch. But the Bane, I guess that would be demoralized, which is presence versus resolve. So that's my highest thing. So let's get that. And that is 15 on presence versus resolve.
Okay, so it comes charging in, and you just uppercut it.
I want to hit it like right here. Is boom.
Which isn't actually the only reason you're even able to uppercut it though is because it's had its head lowered in order to do the charge, but you totally take it by surprise as you floor it, and it lands on its butt.
Cool. And it would have a disadvantage one if it's affected by the demoralized.
The demoralized, it does not seem to be affected.
All right. Well, at least it's knockdowns, but. And then I'll just get a classic, the old fighter pose.
So it lets out a roar from the ground. It tries to kick out at you as it does such.
All right.
And a 12 is probably going against your guard, is going to probably miss horribly.
Yeah, I have an 18 guard.
Yeah, it kicks out of you. You easily just step aside. 17, was that the next class I heard?
I had a 19.
Or 19, you're up then.
So I have a 19 to hit.
Okay, that will hit. Are you using flame?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do minimal damage to it. It seems like it's metal hide, kind of absorbs the heat. You can kind of see it glowing and kind of dispersing off of it.
But Might will come in for a bite. And man, another 19. Dear Lord. 3 19s in a row.
Mud is kind of hanging onto his ankle. Growling and hissing at the same time. So you went. So actually, after you and Mutt go, it actually goes again, and it's going to try and grab Mutt. So, what is Mutt's guard?
16.
Yeah, it easily snatches Mutt up, and then he's actually going to hurl Mutt.
You bastard.
At Bunny. So a guard of 17 or 18?
That hits.
By?
2.
Okay, so you just take minimal damage, 3. Mutt will take 3. You guys kind of disperse and absorb the damage between the two of you. 17.
We have 2 16s.
I thought Krizik said a 17.
Oh, sorry. My name's not 17. Okay, so I'm gonna see Roz's uppercut, and I'm gonna try and do a ninja kick. I got a 19.
Okay, so a 19 is you connect squarely in the jaw, but you just kicked a metal jaw, so does minimum damage, but definitely not rock its head back as you do that. With that,
Also, anything in its mind? Any surface thoughts?
actually no, it is clear. It's quite empty.
Had a feeling.
With that, it kind of like rolls to his hands and knees, and then just launches itself at Raz head first. A 24 against your guard.
Yep, I have 18, so you beat it by 6.
Okay, so you take 6 points of damage as its large metal head slams into your chest. You're able to twist your body in such a way that you don't get gored.
All right.
But the impact is pretty hard. So we had some 16s.
Yep, Ty and Megan.
Unless the doctor wants to go first, Israel will go.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm sure you've got the higher modifier.
Israel will draw his saber and step towards the monster and say, next time, have your master make you out of a stronger metal than bronze. And he's trying to hit it with his saber. He only gets an 18.
All right, so it opens up a little bit of gouge in the soft metal.
He's actually trying to do a bane instead of doing damage to it.
Okay.
He's expecting or thinking this thing's probably magic, so he's trying to nullify it.
Okay. All right, so it does not appear to do anything when you try and do that.
Okay, well, then I guess I just smack it with my sword. Okay, I think that's all he can do then.
Okay, so Israel exerts. You guys witness Israel try and do. Basically, you've seen him do something like this before, similar to this before. But nothing appears to happen this time. Dr. Lucy, you're up.
Reminder number 2 to ask him about that later. Okay, so I am going to lift a hand and raise those shadow tendrils again, like that one time in the alley. So that's going to be entropy versus toughness. $17.
Your black tendrils extend out from you, and
from the ground underneath it.
Yes, extend from the ground underneath it, and begin like engulfing the creature. And when you do that, it just kind of like begins shaking its body about viciously and violently, and your tendrils just kind of like get shredded.
I'm giving it a sour look.
So that brings us back to the top of the order.
Oh, so let's see. So this thing's like right up in our face, huh?
It is.
What did you try to do, Ty? I don't remember.
I tried to nullify it.
All right.
Thinking it was magic.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Conan from the Destroyer on it and just try to like pull one of its horns out. Can I do that?
Yeah, you can try that.
What would that just be, like might?
Yeah, give me a might check.
All right. Just kind of try to like jump up on its head and yeah. What is it? 17.
17. It shakes its head and you're not able to actually grab one of the horns.
All right. Well, I'll just do my best to try to use my body to shield the rest of my teammates from there.
So you're into it so close, it actually tries to grab your shoulders and slam its head down on you.
Okay.
Oh, this is going to hurt a lot. Oh, that is a...
Taking a beating is what this character is good for.
29.
Then why is it me that's always getting hit?
No, I got hit. I want to get hit, man. That's all I made this character. Hit me.
So you're going to take what is your guard?
18.
So you're going to take 30.
Is that 36, Dave?
I think you're going to take 8. It was 37. He's going to take 18 points of damage.
Okay.
And you are.
I'm still up.
Figuratively, you've just been knocked down.
Well, I mean, I'm still conscious.
So you are prone currently, though.
Okay.
As the mighty beast grabs your shoulders and slams its head into yours, essentially, and you stay up for a minute, and then you just fall down on your ass.
All right.
All right. What was next? Bunny?
Yeah,
You
I
had
had
19.
All right. Well, I will position myself on the other side of the room and have Mutt charge in. So Mutt hits a 25.
Oh yeah.
A nice solid bite, and I will blast the other side with fire. And apparently, too concerned with my companion, I miss at an 11.
So mud actually takes a huge chunk out of its calf
Nice.
of metal, just totally crunches it in. Maybe even leaving some credence to Israel's decree of they should have made him from a stronger metal.
Nice.
So after Bunny goes and Mutt goes, the creature turns and looks down at Mutt and goes to slam one of its mighty fists down upon Mutt.
Come on, Mutt, you can do it.
I think he does. It's 12. I think Mutt just dives to the side.
Yep, he misses.
17.
Oh, yeah, I learned my name this time. If I'm walking down a street in the middle of the night and somebody yells out 17, I'll say, yes, you call?
Yeah. Well,
So,
unless it's a new combat and then it changes.
Okay, I want to really quickly do like a psychic ping and see if there are any other minds, cognizant minds besides ours and this non-entity Minotaur. Like anything controlling this thing.
No, you just find you guys.
Okay, I'm going to roll to disbelieve. No, serious. I don't believe this thing's really here.
Okay, so actually, what happens when you do that? Give me a check.
Okay, what do I do?
Use your prescience.
Okay, prescience.
That word,
15.
prescience.
Let's do some press science. Okay, so it's 1920.
Okay, so actually, real Krizik actually gets a glimpse and understands what's going on, and when that happens, the vision Krizik actually disappears because his mind is not actually there, or he's not actually there. So you are now kind of an observer, seeing what's going on.
If I can do it this round, if not next round, start kind of cluing everybody in.
Okay. So next round, so this round you begin starting, and next round it'll kind of take effect. So you guys witness Krizik just kind of like disperse and vanish. You have no idea what the creature did to him. When that happens, the creature turns towards Bunny and tries to kick him, but not very well. A 10. Bunny skirts out of the way. This creature definitely seems to have a thing for kobolds right now.
Man.
The 16's either Ty or Megan.
Israel will shout out, "Leave the dog alone," and we'll swing his sword at the thing, but he only got a 6. Good lord.
Yeah, you swing your sword at it. It actually just catches the blade in its metal hand and throws it aside. It's still in your hand.
Right.
It's still in your hand. Your arm just goes wide.
Okay, so this thing, it's doing mostly like bashing damage or whatever this game's equivalent to bashing damage is, right?
Yes.
Okay, well then I am going to step over to Roz and I am going to drop a resistance aura on her against bashing damage. That is power level 3 protection, so her defense scores are increased by 3 against that chosen damage type. So basically, I'm gonna stick my hand on her head, and like shadowy energy kind of comes down and like just sort of sits over her skin like a glove.
Okay, you totally do that, and Roz, you're encased in this black stuff.
And it's my turn, right? Is it top of the round?
Yep.
Did I get any sort of impression from Krizik? He said he was starting to do that. Is that just going to happen on his next turn?
On his next turn, yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to get up off my feet and just try the thing that worked the first time, which is just wind up the piston in her fist and just try to bash this thing down, like just try to hit him down to the ground again.
Okay.
That's her best idea of what to do. So, might versus guard again. Oh, explosion on the 20. 27.
Okay, you can invoke a Bane for free.
I'll do provoked, so it just will have disadvantage 2 if it attacks anything other than me.
Okay. You said 27 total? All right.
Yeah. So say, stop picking on these kobolds. Fight somebody your own size.
So it totally gets behind that idea.
Bring it on, bullman.
And, tries to slam down with a double fist, hitting a 26.
Yeah, my guard right now is 21 against bashing.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and is that including what Megan did?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take 5 points. You take 5 points of damage.
Okay. Still up.
So you definitely feel the cushioning of the blow after Dr. Lucy had administered to you.
I'll turn to Dr. Lucy and say, "I like it," and a wink.
All right, Krizix, not to be confused with 17. So you're reaching out to them. What exactly are you doing?
I'm saying, wake up is not real. Big, horny, metal, rock solid man phallus thing, not real.
So with that, you guys hear that in your head. You hear Krizix talking to you, even though he was clearly just disintegrated a minute ago.
Can I make a logic check?
Sure.
So that's a 20.
That's so now everything around you appears to be shadowy, but at the same time you're still trapped in the vision.
So do I see Krizik?
No, you feel his presence in your mind. You see everything that you've been witnessing, but you also see the smoke hut at the same time. And the creature is there, but it is shadowy and unreal like to you.
So is there? So there's all kinds of things like, do we have to defeat this beast as part of whatever these halflings are having us doing, or like, do we just have to get out of this vision? Part of me is torn. So what happens when Mutt attempts to attack this thing while everything's in shadow?
Mutt can make his rolls with advantage 2.
Advantage 2. So that's 21.
Okay, so Mutt actually rips off more of it. You guys see more metal go flying. What Krizik, through their minds, through their eyes, and Bunny see is more of that shadowy stuff that it seems to be made of now dissipate.
So was the logic check my action, or can I attempt to shoot this thing?
I'm going to say disbelieving was your action. Yes.
Yep, that's fine.
Okay, so it now turns its attentions to Mutt, and
it's going to have disadvantage too.
Oh, it's going to actually have more than that then. It's so a 16. Does that hit Mutt?
It does, unless we're using the current stats.
Use the current stats, whatever they are.
Okay, then no, it misses.
Okay, so it actually does hit Mutt, but that's like shadowy substance just seems to go right through Mutt and like punch into the floor of the hut and doesn't seem to affect him. Israel, and also Israel looks to be made of that same stuff to you. But Israel, you're up.
Israel will say, "I told you to leave the dog alone." We'll take a step back and with his left hand draw his pistol and try to shoot this thing in the face. He got a 26.
A 26 absolutely hits.
Okay, just going for damage.
So you blow off, a chunk of its face.
Okay, hopefully that drew its attention away from Mutt.
It does, and so it actually turns its attention to you, which is going to have disadvantage. A 23.
Yeah, that'll hit.
So, it backhands you for a slightly better than a glancing blow as you feel its metal fist connect with your face. Or your vision used face.
Okay.
Dr. Lucy, what are you doing?
Okay. So I was dying laughing while you were describing the shadowy stuff because these guys are ornery. So I need a refresher really quick. Who all can see the shadowy things, and did we all hear Krizik?
You all heard Krizik. Only Bunny so far has seen it.
Okay, so what is the roll to see the shadowy things? Roll for disbelief. Like, what do you roll for that?
Yeah, roll logic.
Okay.
Or you can use magic.
I think it'd do better if I did, actually. Hold on. I just not 20'd. Let's see. 31.
Okay, so at 31, you can actually see the shadowy stuff that Israel's made of, that the creature is made up of. The three of you are real, but you at the same time, there is like this electric blue light that is kind of connecting the three of you, and it actually it also connects Israel, the shadowy Israel, and the shadowy Mutt, and the shadowy Minotaur. Yes, thank you, Ted.
All right. These things are shadows. I like shadows. I'm gonna, since we're in a vision, I'm gonna try to summon my shadow dragon. Just kind of fabricate it out of the shadow stuff.
It appears. How big do you want it?
I want it about the size of a Great Dane. so it can help Mutt with the fighting and stuff.
Okay, give me, because you summon it in this place, and it begins like it kind of like comes off of you. It appears on you like a tattoo almost. Then it kind of like slides off, and then it begins to grow. Give me a will check.
Alrighty then. Oh. 3.
A 3. So
Yep.
you will it into existence as the size of a Great Dane. Except for it begins to grow, and it continues to grow. It is kind of made of the same stuff, and so it's kind of ethereal, but it is growing, filling the entirety of this hut.
I do not have the control of my dark side that I thought I did.
The shadow Israel gets absorbed into it, as does Mutt and the Minotaur. Real Israel and Krizix, you give me perception checks.
$16.
Had to see what mine was. Okay, 11, but I also want to try and use my ability, my observant perk.
Is that the once per session?
Yes.
Okay, so what you guys actually notice, the first thing you notice is an area around you just got darker than it was before. It's as if there is a huge chunk of night now.
My sleep casting.
Which is encasing the hut that you guys are standing outside of. Krizix, you're kind of like getting this double vision thing because you're seeing what's happening inside the vision, and now you're seeing this thing grow with your eyes as well. Dr. Lucy, would you be so kind to describe what they see?
Oh no, okay, it's like, and since it just kept growing out of my control, right, it's really huge, like shadow dragon. It's like partially translucent, like there's little tendrils of smoke coming off of it, and it's basically just this massive black with huge wings and like yellow eyes.
And the eyes are a sickly yellow color, and here and there you can see these veins of yellow light kind of like crisscross its body as well. So with that, we are at, that was 16. So that brings us back to the top of the order. The Minotaur thing is actually gone, so that is not even there anymore. So Roz, what is Roz doing with all this going on?
So from her perception, she's still in the vision, like at this cave entrance, right? But I'm hearing Krizix telling me in my mind that we're like in the hut still.
Yes, and there's also now a giant shadow dragon just that kind of slothed off of Dr. Lucy, and it also kind of sucked in the Minotaur and Mutt into its maw.
And she's seeing that though from the vision, right? Where it's at the cave entrance. Yeah,
what you're really seeing is this giant black dragon with these sickly yellow tendrils of light that are kind of like veins, the sickly eyes, and as it grew and roared, like with the inhalation of the roar, it actually like sucked in the Minotaur and Mutt as well.
Okay, she's gonna punch herself in the face and try to wake up. So, I guess I just do might versus my own guard. Can I let my guard down?
You don't actually have to roll to hit yourself.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, she has 0 logic or learning, so to her mind, it would just be like, well, if we're in some vision and I have to wake up, just punch myself in the face.
Well, make a willpower check to see if you can will this all away.
Okay. $26.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's her method of doing that.
Okay, so you slap yourself. You're like, this can't possibly be real.
Right.
You are now in the hut. You hear halflings screaming outside the hut.
I would rush out there.
And just out beyond the door, the night seems darker than it should. You rush out there, and you see the giant ethereal dragon above the hut.
I would be frightened, but also probably like, all right, out of the frying pan into the fire. I guess that's what we're doing. Standing there in her civvies, probably wondering, where's my stuff? But
okay,
if this is how it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna be. So she's ready to go.
Alrighty then. Make a Megan. You can actually make this roll. Use your maximum Aether score.
Okay.
And you're going to be attacking Krizik's guard.
Oh no. Okay. 24.
$18.
Okay, so you take 6 points of damage as the dragon, his head lances out towards you, and it bites right through you, and you just feel this cold numbness kind of like pervade your body.
So this isn't psychic at all, right?
No.
Okay.
And then that brings us to your turn.
Did I get skipped?
Did you? Maybe.
Yeah, he was 19.
Oh, you did.
So can I attempt, seeing, the shadowy stuff, change and whatnot? Can I attempt another logic check to get out of this?
What exactly is it you want to try and do? You're seeing both worlds right now.
Right. This you can't see two worlds at one time. Clearly it makes sense that this was all part of this vision because of the log we put in the fire. My companion was not eaten by, this dragon that appeared. I need to be in the other world, the real world.
What is it you would like to do in the other world?
Find out what's actually real and what's not. Because am I seeing the dragon in both places?
Yes. It's almost like everything you see now from what was in the dream world, it was kind of overlaid on the real world. So you see both. Like the Minotaur is gone, Mud is gone. You see halflings running around. You see Lucy kind of sitting there, Indian style. As well as Roz half naked.
Do we know that? What do we call it? Do I know that it was Lucy that asked this thing to be here?
You saw it slide off her body.
I apologize that I'm confused as to what she has shared before and what we had just experienced. Do we know that she met this little companion before?
Can I go ahead and say yes? Because what you guys were feeling from her when you were going through her mind was this very deep, abiding ambition.
All right, so I'm gonna, I don't want to attack this thing that was, Lucy's companion. So like, I'm gonna try and, say, Dr. Lucy, get control of it. And I will just hold until there's something that I can actually do, because I don't think attacking it is going to do anything.
Okay, now it's Krizik's turn then.
You fought to have your turn for that.
I was trying to get out of the other world, so I apologize.
That's cool. That's cool.
You are out of the other world.
Give you a right cross. What do you call it? Okay, so I have already experienced this thing. I'm technically kind of partially responsible for this thing originally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to appeal to Dr. Lucy's greater idea of ambition. Oh, screw you, Ty. And if only you guys in the chat could see what we're doing in our chat, man. So what do you call it? I'm going to psychically reach out to Lucy directly. Dr. Lucy, sorry. You earned that title. And I'm going to make her, I'm going to appeal to her and, you say things along the lines of, don't let you ambition get ahead of yourself. And then on top of that, give her images of what I think that she thinks that ambition would really be, but subtly twist it a little bit. Like maybe she gets everything that she wants, unlimited power, but all of her friends are laying dead at her feet with fire, engulfing the world around her. So try and get her to actually control her own demons.
So basically what you can do is give me a prescience check, and we'll use as a bolster.
17. 18. I rolled a 16 and 2 1s. Come on.
That's fine. That's actually all you needed. Yes. So, Dr. Lucy, you have advantage on whatever you try now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make another will roll. I'm just gonna like stand before it, and I'm going to look up at it, and I'm like appearing stern but not like raging or anything like that, like you'd handle an unruly animal, for example. And I'm going to say, no, you are my shadow, we are in control. 23. I'm gonna try to like force it back down to like normal size.
So you're kind of like pointing at it and kind of like admonishing it, and it does begin to shrink. And as it does, it kind of like it kind of turns into like a coil of smoke that wraps around your finger and then back up your arm, and then kind of vanishes once again.
Okay, that's a thing that happened.
So when the smoke all clears and you guys are standing there, 3 of you are kind of a little bit on the wasted side from inhaling the smoke. You're still kind of feeling the effects of that, but
worst trip ever.
But you're kind of
absolutely amazing.
You're kind of surrounded by the halfling village, and
I am shaking.
You looking around, you see all these dark faces and their large doe-like eyes looking on with a combination of fright and horror and awe.
Who wants to throw a second log on fire?
Okay.
No, never again. I'm getting out of this room. And you guys probably would notice that the black tendrils that are always on her skin are a little bit more prominent right now, and like just take up a little bit more space. Sorry, continue.
So all attention is pretty much on Lucy or the hut.
The hut, yeah, pretty much the hut. Like, actually, look, all of you guys, like, there's just halflings looking. A mob is formed.
Are they paying attention to Israel, or are they really focused on the hut?
They're kind of looking at all of you guys.
Okay.
But mostly Lucy, because I imagine she would have like had to step out to where the thing was in this plane, in this world, and kind of like, admonish it a bit. And like, so they're all kind of like staring at her, and you guys are near her, so they kind of there, but what exactly are you trying to do, Ty?
Well, last time we learned where all of our equipment and stuff was, Israel was just going to walk, get his weapons belt and his equipment.
You'd actually have no problem doing that. They are actually kind of like dazed.
Okay. Well, once he has his belt on and his bag over his shoulder, he's going to grab everybody else's stuff too while he's there.
I would like to,
and then head back to the party.
I would like to check on Dr. Lucy and see if she's okay. She seemed pretty rattled by all that.
She is incredibly rattled. She is shaking. She is just kind of gonna curl up, get some space and, get out of the smoke room and just sort of curl up in a corner.
Well, I thought you were trying to put on your Sith robes.
Krizik is kind of snickering at you guys a little.
This is my shock blanket.
So, Tandra, the chieftain, and Grishay, they come walking out of the hut after you guys, and look super perplexed, look startled, and they turn to the group, and it's Tandra that steps forward. What have you done? This is nothing like this has ever happened before. You've brought the vision to this place.
All we did was throw log on fire.
This is a mighty portent. I don't know what it means. And as she throws her hands up and says that, all the halflings drop to their knees and they start like chanting.
Did they see the same visions? Like, you said it was like a TV screen?
You wouldn't actually know what they see.
Can I try to describe that road and see if they, like, I'll say, like, we saw a road leading through plains, led to mountain, where, where we saw a giant cavern. Does this sound familiar to you?
Of course you saw a road, you fool. You're travelers. The vision is going to speak to whatever it is you're doing, or where you're coming or going from.
Here's your stuff. Israel shoves a bag into Roz's hands.
What was the green light?
They're getting dressed while I'm talking.
What was green light?
What green light?
In the cave.
What cave? It's different for everyone.
I think green light means something. I think
It means go.
It was evil. Here's your bag. He throws it at Bunny.
It does mean something. It means something to everyone. You're going to. Sometimes it is a green light. Sometimes it is a flower. Sometimes it is the sun or the moon, the stars, or a river. It all has meaning, but the meaning is different for everyone.
I think
this is why we don't smoke stuff.
I think it was eyes in a cave.
Well, yeah, it was eyes in a cave because the thing came out.
You said it came. The Minotaur had the green eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were saying like that was up here and it illuminated the Minotaur. My apologies.
No worries. The great and mighty Unyaye. She reveals different things to everyone, to all travelers.
I think she is revealing path forward.
What does it mean when you have to fight your vision?
Life is a fight. Existence is a battle.
Ah.
It is overcoming. You have to. It means there's something in your path that must be overcome if you are to reach your destination.
It means you shouldn't smoke the funny stuff.
Shut up, Israel.
How did you merge this world with that world? I've never seen the vision come here.
That was a miscalculation.
Your ways are strange, and I believe there's an ill shadow that follows your group.
Thanks. I'm just get up and walk. I'm outie. Out outie 5000.
Yes, please just go. Do not come back.
Okay.
I think that's our sign to leave.
So, rain check on the baboon brains.
Hey, look at the bright side. At least they didn't eat us.
There's that.
So they're more than willing to work the mechanisms for you guys to be lowered to the ground and see you out of their village.
All right.
All right. So
we don't even know. I mean, we were like knocked out and taken. We don't even know what direction we're going. Can I say? Can you point us towards mountain at least?
And they point in a direction.
Fair enough.
Which you can only assume is the opposite from where the plains are, where your ship is.
So now Mutt is still in pieces at this time, correct?
Correct.
All right.
I believe you got it to the point where you can put him in a Wookiee pack, and his head still moves around. And
so was this discussed last time? Was someone willing to carry him?
I'll carry him.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you what. If you want to make one of those like little pallet things, Bunny's pretty small. He could sit on it and try to tinker with Mutt, and I'll just drag him. I mean, I'm
That
sure
would-
we can make something like that.
That would probably be difficult through the forest floor.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you just said life is challenging.
Well, and if his head is still operable and he can bark, then we can use him as a, like, he can have guard duty.
Yeah. I mean, Bunny's smart. Make a little wheeled thing. I'll push it like a little pallet.
So Professor Bill says stick them both in a fanny pack.
Not unless it's a fanny pack for giants.
Yeah.
And we're trapped in the 80s.
Well, it was close to the peak of human civilization.
Well, yeah, right. According to some people. At the same time, I'm also going to need to see parachute pants if we're in the 80s. I want to hear the swish, swish, swish as we walk.
Do you really have to? Do we have to go back to that?
Well, they did bring that a little bit back in the 90s with swooshies. But so with that, you guys find yourselves on the ground. You have a direction to head if you wish. You had several directions you could go, and one is back towards the ship. The other is, through the forest.
Well, they seem to want to go to the mountain, and I'm just going to start walking because I need some air and I need to clear my head.
Hadn't we talked that we were going back to the ship to tell Captain?
Yeah, but we only had 3 days, and I'm guessing we don't have enough time now to get back to the ship.
We don't even know what direction it was.
We have the flares.
We do.
Well, we only have so many flares, and
So use the flare, and I guess we'll head back. But I just need a direction to go. I can't hold still right now.
we're gonna get trapped here, guys. I'm just saying.
Well, how about we head towards the mountains and light a flare? And
I
they
like
can-
this idea.
The one that says "Come here,"
Yeah.
Yes.
We had one of those, right?
and then we don't have to face the
Well, the
Kazakh
problem
again.
is that the mountain's on the other side of the forest. If we go into the forest, the ship's not going to be able to find us.
I think we're
Unless
in
we
the
come out
middle
the
of the
other
forest.
side.
Yeah. Like they took us deep into the forest. Can I use
In the
my
forest.
my instinctual precognition to see if I have any idea that, like, how deep we are in the forest, and if it would be better to go forward and reach the edge that way, or if we were like really far from where we started?
Okay, so you believe you are basically in the center of the forest.
Right. So in my experience, it's always good to go forward. And I'll say, like, we're probably in we are at least in the heart of forest. So
And if
might
I'm
as well go
correct,
forward.
if I'm correct, we've been here now 2 days out of our 3.
That sounds correct. But we were also unconscious for a while, so who knows?
And then there was the smoke tent.
Yes.
So
I'm walking.
there is the part where you don't actually know how long you're unconscious for. So
I say we move towards the mountains. If we find somebody wants to go off a flare.
I agree with Commander.
So as you guys begin moving out, you move for a little while. When you hear a slight rustle of tree branches and leaves from above,
Uh-oh.
and you look up to see a probably like a kobold-sized figure swooping through the air, covered in brown fur, long bushy tail behind it. It is one of those giant squirrels that you saw earlier. And upon closer inspection, there is a halfling kind of like hanging on its back as it glides down to the ground, probably, 15, 20 yards away from you guys.
Hello.
And once the halfling pops off its back, Ted, it looks like the squirrel you saw earlier. I mean, I don't know how you would distinguish one squirrel from another, but it looks very similar. But the male halfling Grishay kind of like hops off the back and kind of tentatively approaches your group.
It is not a good time to test me right now.
He looks at you quizzically, and no test. I just came to talk. Your friend,
Hello.
your friend with the funny ears. He talked about a road.
We did. We saw a road in vision, leading to cavern entrance.
Can you describe the road?
It was made of stones, cut stones. Not natural.
Actually, he first asked you to tell him what a road is.
It is like footpath through forest, except made of stone.
And then he starts describing like stones and placements, and which sounds very much like the road you were walking on. And he says, Grishay knows a place like that, just outside of the forest.
Can you lead us there? That is where we were hoping to reach this. We didn't know if we were going right way or not.
I will guide you. You are slightly off the path to reach that which you seek. But I cannot take you all the way because it is in forbidden lands. Our people do not travel there.
Why are lands forbidden?
We do not leave the safety of the forest.
This is understandable. Well, we certainly appreciate your help. As you said, we are travelers, but we are sometimes lost.
I believe you were sent here for a purpose.
I believe this as well.
And what purpose do you believe?
I believe our goddess has sent you to make the world better and safer for us.
Beyond the Krizak, is there something else that dangers your kind?
The Krizak has been our mortal enemies since as long as I can remember. We do not stray any further. That is why we stay in the forest. We are able to maintain our secrecy here and hide from many of the dangerous creatures that you will find out, amongst this place. There are many things. This forest has been gifted to us by the goddess, and it is a haven.
Haven. Sounds familiar.
The only true threat we've had to deal with is the Kreziks. They're the only ones that come in here.
I would maybe turn to Dr. Lucy and whisper, isn't Haven name of city?
Yes,
Beyond Gloom?
it is. But it's also a word. It means a safe place.
Right, but might be, more than coincidence.
You get the impression that she wasn't sure you knew that. A little bit of condescension there.
I have my moments. Oh, that it's a word. Yeah.
So you actually travel 2 days before you find the edge of the forest.
We have now gone completely past our time frame.
Yes.
We are deep in the shit.
So on the other side of this forest, it actually begins to give way. It's almost like someone, drew a line in the earth itself, where the land itself just looks desolate. Not gloom desolate, mind you, but it looks barren and craggy. Lots of stone. Anything that's growing is looks kind of desolate, and it's there's basically bushes and thorns and things of that nature, but there's a couple. The few trees you see, they look more dead than alive. Where the forest is rather verdant, this place is just abysmal.
So we don't need to get into the actual details of it, but over the 2 days of travel, I think it's wise to talk to the halfling about the dangers of this place. Ask questions in regards to how long were we actually out, and if anything that we encounter the halfling talked about. You could just, hey, you know this or you know that, or we can make checks to see if we remember. Just want to.
Okay, so you do that, and he describes like different creatures that you've never heard of or seen. Some of them are quite horrific. Many of them are quite large. Even if you get him going, he tells you how they've had to drive things from the forest or other things they've just hidden from, and also the dangers of going too high into the trees.
So is it morning now?
It is.
Travels, are we relatively rested?
Yes.
Okay.
What is dangerous in the forest canopy?
Well, it's not in the trees themselves, but occasionally, a creature or beast will swoop down from the sky.
What do these beasts from the sky look like?
There have been ones with wings that look like a bird, or those with wings like a bat. There's been different creatures.
I don't like this.
I was actually curious if he was talking about airships.
No, he definitely describes things that are more like giant
living
animals.
creatures. Oh, okay.
Well, Israel will say, well, now that we have a moment of rest before we enter upon another danger, there is one matter that has to be dealt with. And he will take his gloves off and walk over to Roz and say, choose your weapons, and smack her across the face with his gloves.
I'll put up my fist and say, right here, if you must do this.
Very well. He'll throw a punch at her.
All right.
I'm stopping you guys after first
Actually,
blood.
you know what? No, you know what? I'll take it. I'll let it. I realize. No, you know what? She presses buttons for a reason, and
Got a 26.
and her goal was accomplished. So she's dwarf enough to own up to that. So I will take it. I won't even. I'll just be like, yeah, I understand.
Okay. He rolled a 26 to punch her in the face. And then he stands back and waits to be punched back.
I won't punch back. I say, I understand.
So we understand one another now.
We do. I understood you right from the start.
Good.
Is it time for flare now?
Crochet says, you folks have a strange custom.
Not sure who has more testosterone.
It's
Well,
just
no,
those
like I
things
said,
are really stupid.
From Raz's point of view, it's like I knew I was pressing his buttons to get him to do what I wanted, and we did. So that's fine. I'll take a punch.
It was
I've been I'm not gonna hit him.
Israel
back.
will say, yes, it is time to try a flare. It may be too late, but we can at least attempt it.
So, we light off the flare that says, come here, and we'll kind of set camp and see whether we actually still have a ride home. Meanwhile, let's whoever has the best eyes in the party begin looking for where the mountain range is and gauge a distance of how long we think it's going to be.
And I'm going to suggest we move at least 100 yards away from the flare.
Okay.
Sure.
That makes
'Cause
sense.
It could draw other things.
Yeah, good call.
So it's not until well, is it that kind of flare? Or, like, I got the impression it was something you shoot into the air.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking it was, but
I think he's saying like if something goes to where they think it launched from, we won't be sitting there on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys wait for about an hour before you see something glinting in the sky in the distance coming in your direction.
so in that hour, from either Grishak or our own eyes, do we see where the mountain range is, and can we gauge how far a travel that we're expected to have?
Grishak did not follow you out of the forest. He, basically he told you which way to go and you'll find the road. But he's not going to go with you.
Yeah, I figured that much, but can we see the mountains? Do we know any ideas?
Yeah, so he tells you the actual road itself is a day's travel from where you are. And he also says, that he's not actually supposed to know that, but he was impetuous in his youth. And he actually tells you, if you follow that road, it will take you into the mountains, and it'll take you, by his best estimation, it'll probably take you about a week of travel.
I like this creature.
Of course you do.
It doesn't eat elves, just kobolds.
So with that, you see, the shape starts to coalesce in the sky as the morning hawk begins to take form. Although you do know it's going to have a little bit of trouble pinpointing your location, because it's been a while since the flare went out.
Should we shoot another one off?
Light a fire.
Or can you contact them with your mind?
Krizik is right now trying to think of a way, because he might never get this opportunity again, to cut down a tree, but using his telekinesis about a mile away and see if it makes a sound. Yeah, sure, fine, I'll do whatever you need.
I'm not so sure that the range is quite that long on the powers.
Well, when we see the ship fairly close, Israel will step out into the open and wave his arms.
Okay. The Aether cannons power up. So you guys are there before too long. The ship begins descending. So you guys kind of waving it in, and they throw down the ladders and the bridge, the rope ladders and nets for you guys to kind of climb back up.
We'll do that, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stay on the ground until everyone else is up. To make sure.
Israel will pat you on the back and say, "Go ahead, I'll be last."
Fair enough, Commander.
You two are ridiculous.
We're just
This
making sure.
Impossible.
Oh, I know. This way you can cut the rope and let the human fall, right? Punch me in the face, will you?
He might not have a problem with that.
No. I understand. Soldiers and tough guy machismo.
So the captain is waiting for you guys as you scale up and over the rail of the ship.
Harkin? Is that the captain's name? Leslie Harkin?
It is.
You waited, you fool, and I'm gonna hug her.
So, how much work did I get done on Mutt?
Oh, in that 2 days, he still needs a couple paws.
Okay, but his torso is properly modified and whatever.
Yes.
All right, so then I won't bother with the rope. I'll scale onto its back and then fly up to the ship.
Okay, so Mutt flies.
Mutt flies now.
Wow. As I'm climbing up the ladder, like, why did he do that?
You see little Aether struts pop out of the inside of Mutt.
No, that's not where the thrust is.
Oh no.
Oh. It's like,
It's magic.
what's that, Astro Mud or something like that? From Blue Falcon?
So, I was giving you guys one more day, and that was it. Then I was flying back.
Well,
Thank
now
you
we have.
for waiting.
I did not want to have to report to the Commodore that we'd lost the party.
And we have we have new destination now, right?
Well, it's not new destination. It's actual knowledge of where our destination is.
Yeah.
But you are not going to believe what we found in that woods. There's another sentient species in there, and they're just surviving down here.
By eating kobolds.
They don't eat kobolds. They eat baboons.
They're
They also
technically
said they
elves.
eat kobolds.
Yeah, they did say they have eaten people that have come down from the sky.
I mean, it is possible that they don't know any better. They are a native species. It's phenomenal, and they know so much about this place down here, and we could learn so many things from them.
Except
And
we're
I'm
not
like just
welcome back.
enthusing to her about this because I've had a minute to collect my thoughts and like information.
Except we're not welcome back.
They eat
And
people?
they are.
I'm not welcome back. I'm sure you'll be fine.
They're technically
did not
elves.
They're survivalists. They eat what they must. To
Those
survive.
are not elves.
I
They
am
may
not.
have. They may
They
be what the
speak
elves
Elven.
used to be.
They speak Elven, but they're definitely not elves.
They kind of like elves.
Bro, we don't look like that.
Sounds all quite very confusing.
They're,
Um,
they're savage cannibals that are a blight on everything.
They're a wellspring of information, and they are surviving against all odds. I imagine even you could respect that.
I think it was cool that they rode squirrels. I think Mutt will have a tail like squirrel now.
All right.
Captain, do you want us to lay waste to the forest?
I mean, Commander,
Oh, I was like, man, that was a dramatic look up there.
are they asking Leslie or are they asking Israel?
Israel. They're asking Israel.
Okay, well he's commander, not captain.
Well, commander. She's captain.
Do I want you to lay waste?
Israel, please.
We can charge up the Aether cannons.
They did help us.
I believe this is not the time. The time for it.
Ah, good. I am not. I was not too eager to start hostilities with these new folks anyway.
Krizik releases a mental grip that he was just about to enact.
And Israel slowly lowers the hammer on his pistol.
Best
I'll
of
take
friends.
I'll take a swig of
That's not your
fire.
pistol you're holding on to. You know it.
Whatever.
So I'm sure you guys could use an actual ship prepared meal. Now that you've been running around on the surface, who knows what you've had to eat down there other than
Oh,
your
you have
rations.
no idea.
I don't know. It was pretty good, actually.
Nothing. I had nothing to eat down there but what we brought with us.
You didn't sleep either, by the way.
But yes, we probably need to get a rest for at least a night and resupply. And I don't suppose the ship could take us any closer to our destination.
And at dawn, we plan.
Well, it depends on where your location is, Commander.
He'll point in the direction we were headed, towards the road.
So do we have things like spyglasses and that kind of stuff?
Yes,
Actually, spyglass.
So
Yeah,
can we find out where the road is, where the mountain is, and are we able to get any closer with the ship than having to walk the roughly 8 days to our destination?
yeah. So you guys could take the ship and you basically fly it in a day.
I like this plan.
Much better than walking. I miss technology.
I'm
Yes.
taking a shower while we're on the ship, so
I'm not.
of course you're not. Heaven
Well,
forbid
yeah,
you smell
Israel will do
good.
the same. Yeah, Israel will do the same and press his clothes.
And we
Maybe-
lost Megan again.
Oh my God, Israel! Stop killing the elf.
Maybe while Dr. Lucy is showering, though, I might investigate her perfumes and stuff. Just to, is this what these women
Yes,
wear?
her perfumes and stuff.
Yeah.
So Dr. Lucy, you come out of the shower to find Roz in your room investigating your makeups and or perfumes.
Ross, do you need help?
Just curious.
Yes.
Here, have a seat.
All right, Raz will sit down.
And she's gonna start pulling out cosmetics and actually right now give Roz a makeover.
All right, I'll let her. This is a totally new experience for me.
And she'll be just making casual chat while she's talking to her, about the halflings, about the forest, about the surface, kind of enthusing about it, asking how it compares to Ross's first few trips down there.
Oh, it was much more enjoyable. First few trips filled with bloodshed. We lost a dozen people on first trip. I saw my friend get torn in half by some strange creature. This is much nicer than military makeover. They just take clippers and shave heads.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
So
Anyway,
yeah, it's kind of
mirror.
I'm gonna talk to Bunny real quick and say, like, Bunny think Krizik should mentally sway Dwarf to take shower. Hmm?
It's not like she never showers. It's just not a big priority.
It's only been 4 days. Like,
Yeah,
out of character, that's really not that long. Lucy's just kind of prissy.
yeah, right.
I
She's a
definitely think
scholar
that
type.
you know,
What do you want from her?
every advantage worth pursuing.
But yeah, sure, that's kind of fun. Girl bonding, woman bonding. I'll let her give me a makeover. Clean my uniform up.
So
Dwarf
you guys all show up to mess, and there seems to be a new crew member.
So yeah, she would be a little sheepish, I suppose. This is new experience.
And you're not sure where Raz is.
And then Raz takes her flask out just to calm her nerves a little bit.
Are you wearing makeup?
Doesn't she look amazing?
I guess this is what these
It's a
scholarly
she?
elves do.
I got it out first.
I challenged a she to a duel.
I punched the girl.
Yeah.
I am like just giving you the look that I gave my dragon earlier. Like,
Yeah, the
behave
captain,
yourself.
Captain Leslie Vargan is also giving you a dirty look as well.
I am dwarf first, soldier second, woman third. I'll sit down just like she normally would, kind of like just brash and stubborn, and just start, eating slappily.
Well, the captain speaks up. I'm happy to see that you've all made it back from the surface. We don't, from my understanding, there's not that many expeditions that make it back safely.
Well, we're not just any expedition.
Well, that is true. I don't imagine they would send the Morning Hawk for just any old thing. So, what's the plan?
We need to go to Mountain and investigate cave.
You to take us as close as you're willing to go, and then drop us off.
What's
the
cave?
We need to look out for what could be ancient road from time on surface, leading to entrance into mountain. We don't know what's there, but it is our guess that this is where our destination lies.
The halfling sent us on a vision quest. That didn't go so well at the end, but in the beginning it was really okay.
So, is it the halflings that told you that there's this road and a cave?
No, we saw it in vision.
Okay, so I start to explain the process of like the logs with the aether in them and like how we were sitting in the smoke lodge, and I conveniently cut short before I almost destroyed the town.
Well, she essentially looks over to the commander.
Yes, they got stoned and saw things.
And now we've just altered our mission according to a cave they saw in...
It's going in the general direction that we were going anyway. It's going towards the mountain.
There was aether involved, and the halflings did confirm that these things exist on the physical plane. I believe we might have been astral projecting, actually. It was quite fascinating. I should really show you my notes.
Just quick out of character. What was did we have a specific minute? It was to go to the main city, right?
The thing you guys have been trying to do is trying to find the source of the gloom.
Yeah,
from
which is around Haven, right? The
correct.
13th. All right. Yeah. So then I mean that's kind of what we believe too, is that road in the mountain leads to that. I guess is what Raz would offer.
Well, I'm just your ride, so if that's what you guys feel like you need to do.
Besides, the road's over there.
Nice. We think road might lead to where Haven's origins lie.
She kind of starts to like rub her jaw. How old do you think that road is?
Older than living memory.
Huh.
We should take samples of that too.
Samples of the road?
Yeah, like the stone that they used, and then maybe we could investigate how they cut the stones for the road. It's really quite marvelous.
The captain may or may not roll her eyes at you.
I don't care. I'm enthusing and excited.
So
We're learning.
Captain, any issues with the engine while we're down on the surface?
Nope, she's been running like a champ. We managed to stay just high enough, before the cloud cover, and so we would be in view of the flares if they went off. We've been circling basically from one end of this forest to the other just in case. We were getting a little concerned. We were starting to think that this was going to be another failed expedition. Literally one more day, and we were going to go back to Grundlehelm and report our failure. So do you really think we're going to find the answers?
I think we'll find something.
That is true. I just hope we can live through it. I still have nightmares from that thing.
So, Bunny's kind of perplexed at her choice of words. Another failed mission? Are you referring to Haven, or was there another attempt down here at the surface?
Well, of course there's Haven, but you think this is the only time people have been sent to the surface?
Well, we already know
But
that
you
others have come
specifically.
down here, but have you led a failed mission?
I've been on a few missions. She seems a little sheepish, and reluctant to talk. But your comrades, I believe they've been on some missions down here as well, and Raz even left a little bit behind.
Yeah, more than a little. I don't aim to do that again.
We don't aim to allow that to happen.
So these creatures you encounter, this civilization, they are. So are we putting them in the friendly or hostile category?
I would say neutral to friendly.
They didn't kill us.
They were actually quite accommodating. As a matter of fact, I think I did more damage to them than they did to us.
Yes, I think they were more afraid of us than we should be of them.
They didn't.
It was
eat us, though.
after they attacked us with sleeping darts and broke.
Okay, listen. They are living down there on the surface where everything is trying to kill you. They were being perfectly cautious, and I think in their position, we would have done the same thing.
Did you see they eat baboons?
Yes.
And people occasionally.
No, there are
Yes.
people down that. I didn't mean it like that. I'm just gonna stop talking.
I get context for future reference and for my logs.
They tried to eat the kobolds until Krezik able to speak their language.
Oh, well, I'm glad they did not eat the kobolds, especially since one of them is my chief engineer.
I'm just like sitting here eating my food, like
I
so I
am-
have an excuse not to say anything else.
I am more happy than you that they not eat us.
Well, that is good. So, what these other creatures you encountered? Hostile?
The Krezik?
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely hostile.
These baboons, they think and act as one, and they definitely aggressive, definitely bad.
Well, that
And
sounds
they're-
more like the surface world I know.
And their
Yes.
abilities appear not to be magical, but more, I guess, psychic in nature, you could say.
So you're telling me they're kind of all like kobolds?
No,
Not even I would insult kobolds that much.
you just say that the
No,
Krezak are like
he would.
Krezak.
I want that on the record. He would, and has.
They were clever and they were resourceful and they are survivors and that is admirable.
They were going to eat us.
They were not well. Okay, they didn't eat us. After
Well,
they
yeah,
found out we were
definitely-
sentient, they were perfectly fine.
You know, if we are going on what we were going to do, technically, Israel were going to shoot me several times.
He was talking about the baboons just now.
And I'm just talking about hostile creatures in general.
I actually admire the tree folk, the tree walks, for such small things to adapt and survive down there.
Tree walks?
Tree walks.
Yes,
Yeah, that's what Megan.
that's what I called them in my recap blurb.
They seem quite impressive. So, Roz, is it one of these tree walks that did that to your face before you put makeup on?
No, that was me. It was quickest way out of dangerous situation. Sometimes you just have to, take the easiest
That was
route.
not the only time you got punched in the face down there. Don't lie.
Oh yeah.
But was that one yours, or was that one from the commander?
Oh yeah. He also punched me, but it was warranted. I was pressing buttons.
Again, giving him the very dry look.
It was only the commander's strike that actually left the mark on you.
Oh, really? My steam-powered punch didn't leave? Okay.
Well, that was a vision.
Are you disappointed that you didn't bruise yourself?
That was a few days ago. But no, it was fair game.
That punch made you pretty.
I agree. Little black and blue put some color in my cheeks.
Well, it sounds like you had quite the adventure, and I think you should probably get some rest before we drop you off again.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
That gave me time to check engine and make sure you guys are in ship shape and finish up Mutt.
Sleep, of course.
Do you plan on sleeping? Yes, as Dr. Lucy said.
Yes, sleeping in proper prayer time.
I will get sleep.
So you said about patching Mud up and putting him back together, and if you're going to check the ship and get him back together, you actually kind of lied. You'd probably be up all night doing that, which is fine.
All right.
If you choose to. I would actually almost use a DM intrusion to say Bunny would probably lose track of time and just keep working until the task was done. So when they find Bunny the next day, it will be in the room, curled up on the floor with Mutt.
Oh.
Where he fell asleep finishing Mutt off.
I would like to, while we're on the ship, wake up early and write a surface report of what we found down there. So just in case we die, the information is still preserved for posterity.
Okay. And also the airmen had been helping you guys with the other strikers. The strut strikers has actually kind of sorted all their innards and kind of put it together for you guys. So it's all cleaned and ready for whatever you want to do with it.
Cool.
Hey, speaking of that real quick, I just trying to take a second, because he's in the chat, especially to thank AJ Kinney, who wrote an article for the website from the point of view of a character in this world about those strut strikers. It was really awesome. So thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed his work.
Yes.
Yeah. His email is different than the name, so I was thinking of that. But yeah, that was an awesome article. Thank you very much. So, with that, you guys are all prepped. You've resupplied. The captain has sunken the ship down to the point where you guys can be lowered down, or Mutt can fly down a kobold.
I'm gonna jump off with my parachute boots.
Or jump off with your parachute boots. So she asks the commander, "How do you want to do it this time?"
How long can you stay?
Well, we have provisions to last a couple months, but not that I want to stay that long. And we're going to want to, get up to the cloud cover.
I'm thinking we're going to need longer than 3 days. Can you hold out for 2 weeks?
As you wish.
Very well. We'll take some flares with us again and hold out for 2 weeks, or however long you think you can. I think that'll be a more possible time frame.
Perfect. Happy hunting.
Very well. And Israel will drop over the side.
All right, so I guess with that, we'll finish up for the day with you guys touching boots to the actual road that winds off into the distance. Nothing but desolate land all around. Think Mordor, pretty much.
Great.
Nice.
One does not simply.
Once more, Israel will go to the side of the road, take off his gloves, and pick up some dirt and kind of rub it in his hands and smell it, and then drop it.
And here it has a bit of a sulfury odor to it, as opposed to the last time when it was really verdant and rich and full of life.
So
And take samples.
Here's a quick question. So we found the road from our vision. Does it look as like new as it did in our vision, or is it like all blighted and like?
Yeah, it's all blighted and cracked and worn and weathered.
So it's like that same road, but like in our vision, it was maybe like back in time, kind of when it was newer.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
And if you guys kind of like dig around, you can actually find that someone actually has laid flagstones for the road.
Wow.
Which is primitive compared to what they use in actual cities you guys are from.
Right.
So with that, we're going to wrap things up. I want to thank Open Legend for sponsoring the game, as always. And also, guys, if we still have our GoFundMe going to go out to LA. Now, so far, we've been able to actually purchase tickets for the airline. We still have to, worry about accommodations out there and, food and getting back and forth and whatever other incidentals I'm sure will pop up. So I want to thank everyone who's helped us with the GoFundMe. And for any of you guys, if you've already shared or if you've already given or you can't, please share it on our social media. It really does help us out. And if you got a little to give, we'd appreciate that as well. You can find it in the link, as well as a link to Open Legend RPG, which you can go to the website and check out the rules for free. It's a fun game. Check it out. So with that, guys, until next time, stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.
Stay nerdy.